Hi, welcome. Today's ballet tip fixes so many things. I can't believe it took me so long in my life to figure this out. But I figured it out. I learned this. I'm sharing it with you. The way that you imagine your inner ankle bone has so much potential to impact your technique. It's fantastic. My favorite thing about using imagery to help people realign their body is that it releases tension. And so we get the effect with less tension, which then gives us greater range of motion, more energy to put towards actual movement. It's just way more pleasant. None of what I am going to talk about is physically possible. We are not talking anatomy. This is not kinesiology. This is imagery. And if you are interested in how imagery impacts actual movement, I really recommend that you look into the writings of Lulu Swigard and Eric Franklin. Actually, yeah, y'all thought this bookcase behind me was just for show. No, it's a real bookcase. Eric Franklin, Conditioning for Dance is one of my favorites. It's the only one of his, there's his name. It's the only one of his that I currently own. That will be rectified at some point. And then the ideas that I'm talking about today come from Lulu Swigard's Human Movement Potential. Of the two, Eric Franklin's stuff tends to be more accessible. Lulu Swigard's writing is a little bit more academic, a little bit denser. Just FYI, if you're trying to decide which one to read first. But today we're going to talk about Lulu Swigard's 6th line of movement. Lulu Swigard identified 9 lines of movement, and there are people who know more about this than I do. The lines of movement are imaginary. You imagine one landmark in the body moving to another in a particular way, and she found that that really helps the body align itself. When we think too hard about alignment, everything gets contracted and it gets so hard. You know exactly what I'm talking about. 6th line of movement has to do with integrating the foot. And there are 4 different images that she talks about. And they help with both pronation and, inversion and eversion. Pronating, cycling is what they are. We are just going to talk about one of them because it is so impactful. So we're going to talk about your inner ankle bone. If you have a student who is sickling their foot, especially in a foot stretch, like, this makes everybody so sad. What if you thought about having a little hot air balloon on your inner ankle bone and imagined it rising up to your midline? If you can get the inner ankle bone to go up to the midline, it fixes a lot. This is great for beginners, especially because it's easy to sickle. It's harder not to, and a lot of beginners don't understand anatomy well enough to understand how to control their ankle joint. So, hot air balloon from the ankle up to the midline. Another way that the inner ankle bone can help a whole bunch is if you have a student that doesn't hold their arches, that doesn't engage their rotators, that is pronating in their first position. There can be a lot of reasons that they're doing this, but it ends up looking like this instead of that. If you have them imagine that there is a zipper that starts at their ankle and zips up to their knee. Zip. This also works if you're having them zip up in the front as well. You can just have them zip all their zippers at the same time. This is related to the last one where we have pronation in the ankle, or even if the ankle is lifted and the turnout isn't exactly engaging, it'll kind of force the ankle forward. Knees are not pressing outward. What if you thought about having a ruler at your ankle bone that goes up and your knee can't hit the ruler, right? If the knee is gonna go forward and this is not gonna work, that ruler helps guide the knee sideways. And then, you get to have a ruler or a magic wand. Let's be real. I'm more likely to have a magic wand in class. When you have a student who has trouble with their foot shape and their tendu devant, I like to think about the ankle bone as like a little prairie dog or a gopher, just like popping up And you can bring in a little video, because they're cute and they pop up and they look around and then they pop back down. So we're here, and if you've sickled, you pop up and then you go back into your burrow. Pop up. Hello. But it's the ankle bone that is your prairie dog. When anyone loses their turnouts, you can put a googly eye sticker on that inner ankle bone and have them rotate that googly eye. I don't know if you can see it. I have a googly eye sticker on my ankle. Rotate that eye forward because your googly eye is very nosy and wants to know what's happening in class. This seems like something that would be only for young children or beginners, but it actually works great for anybody because the imagery, the image of the eye looking triggers the movement, and then you can prompt the students to notice what muscles fired. Googly eye stickers are not just for the young. Leave me a comment below. What are the corrections that you get as a dancer? What are the corrections that you seem to always be giving as a teacher? I have this whole bookshelf behind me. Some of it is fiction, some of it is cake stands, but a lot of it is ballet reference. I would love to do some research for you and see if I can help you out. If you like this kind of thing, you should jump over to my website. You can learn more about the curriculum I use when I teach. You can learn more about my ideas about key elements of artistry to integrate into class. And you can sign up for my monthly newsletter just once a month. I'm too busy to spam you. My website is geekyballerina.com. Most of all, I hope you have a really great class.